Hello everybody, thank you for tuning in to the second round back nine of the Four States Open presented by MVP. My name is Andrew Presnell. With me, I have Joplin local Ian Boyer.
Hey, how's it going? We have a lot of disc golf planned for this back nine. A tougher nine in the second round. It's a lot of extensive par fours.
Yeah, there's a lot more trees, a lot of harder holes on this back nine.
For sure.
Front.
For sure. Thank you to the Deals for doing some coverage, and Kendra Deal, the drone queen.
On this card, we got Scott Adams from Tulsa, Oklahoma. He shot the hot round first round.
We got Jonathan Fletcher from Fairbury, Nebraska. Jonathan is absolutely crushing it this tournament. And Joel Freeman as well.
Joel Freeman, he's pretty popular Disc Golf Pro Tour player from Colorado. Caleb Bruce, Discmania sponsor player from Oklahoma.
And then you got Big Abe's Hot Springs local legend, Arkansas legend. He's kind of getting up there in years, but he's still improving as rapidly as he can, and he's kind of recently gotten to over that peak of being one of those higher rated local players. So it's really cool to see him kind of get out and kind of play some bigger tournaments like this.
Hole 10, we're starting off the back nine with a difficult par 4. It's only the 9th hardest hole, but there's a lot of trees to hit. Basically, want to throw a straight shot that's going to land you anywhere in the fairway, and then kind of no matter where you land, you're going to be throwing a scramble second shot. Joel gets a bad kick to the left there. He's going to be in scramble mode.
Yeah, this is that's a clutch shot to kind of pull off, especially watching Joel, your leader, miss that shot. There you have a lot of pressure to actually execute that shot.
This looks good from Abrahan if it gets through.
That pushed far.
Great shot there.
Tell you what I have done. I've drawn metal from C2. I'm good for that. Dude, they're so good. If C2 metal hits was...
Full flight there. He's going to be on the left side.
It's hard to really tell with this catch cam how much of an upshot you'll have. But typically these people who are more in this open side, like Scott, are going to have a forehand approach right into that green. Whereas these other people who are a little more left are going to be cut off and having to scramble, like Joel here.
Joel makes it out to the middle, but not much progress down the fairway. We got Scott maybe yanking a forehand just a tiny bit, but he gets through. He's going to have a look.
Yep. Joel's going to have about the same look as Scott to try to get up and down. This is Abe's second. He's got a nice forehand. A little far.
A little bit deep there.
Yeah. Nice shot, Caleb. Yeah.
Good looking shot there.
Yeah, it's always fun to see kind of players having to scramble and take some knees and all that. And Joel just got excellent putt to get up and down. Did that not stay in?
That flopped out.
Oh wow, sorry. Well, he's not too happy about that, and Scott had to watch that happen and kind of probably got scared a little bit. These baskets definitely have a lot of problems catching a lot of times whenever you're not kind of directly hitting them. I think that's scary for some players to see and putt into, especially from afar when you're putting hard.
I haven't seen anything too bad yet on the coverage, so Baskets are doing their job for the most part so far. Joel tapping in, disappointing bogey, but we did see 3 birdies from the card. Hole number 2, sponsored by Knockwood Park. Knockwood Park, rated one of the 5 best courses in Kansas. Technical, beautiful, it is worth the trip.
So this hole, you've kind of got a lefty shape or a forehand flex shape you're trying to shoot. You basically have this wall you kind of want to throw right at and turn just before you get to this wall and sneak your way up here to this basket and give you a putt.
Yeah, I think the ideal shot shape is a flex forehand. Me personally, I kind of do what Jonathan's doing here. Throw it over the wall. You kind of have to get a teeny bit lucky, although he hit the gap perfectly. And Jonathan made that backhand look pretty easy.
Oh, let's go. Take right.
Okay. Caleb landing right next to Jonathan there. They're both going to have birdie looks. Caleb catching a tree. He's probably just going to have to pitch up.
Same thing. Let's go.
You got through. Oh, and hit the tree right after. Most of these guys are going to have a somewhat of a putt, maybe a stepper from outside there.
I'm surprised Joel's taken the over-the-wall route with how good his flex forehand is, but it paid off for him.
Yep. He definitely had to do something there to kind of try to keep his, not keep his lead, but get his lead back.
That was Abe giving it a good run from distance. And Scott finally gets one to go. You can see how excited he is. He's had a lot of close calls this second round. Well, I talked about it last hole. I said it last hole, the baskets were doing their job, but unfortunately Joel got one of the instances where the basket rejects a pretty good putt.
Yep. Typically, they do a pretty good job with kind of strong side, but, you know, and your pacing's a little bit off and you're kind of getting nervous. Sometimes you don't put the best putt you can into the basket, especially right after seeing you miss a putt. So I think that could have caused him to have some yips and not make a, you know, perfect putt. He is not happy about that at all. Seeing Jonathan take a stroke on him, and that kind of just feels out of his,
out of his control.
Yes, for sure.
Joel feels like he did the right thing, but just got some unfortunate luck.
And that's some of the worst things to see.
We got a double take here. A great putt from Scott. Brought to you by Blue Sage Payments. Hole number 12, par 5, 804 feet. The hole kind of makes a figure 8 shape. You can go down the right or left fairway, and then it kind of comes back where you can go down the right or left fairway again. So depending on where your drive ends up, you may take the right, you may take the left.
The way the drone took it, I think is the most typical way of playing it. Definitely my play for sure. And I think a lot of these players will do the same. We have a lot of, maybe not forehand dominant players, but players with the very decent forehand.
Scott's going to go down this right side.
This right side's nice. Nicer tee shot, but it definitely doesn't put you in quite as good as a position down the fairway to give you an upshot. That's the problem with that left side. It's a lot tighter, and you can get stuck deeper into that fairway than that other side.
What are the chances of that, dude?
And Joel hits that leaning tree, just absolutely squared it. That was a good-looking shot.
It was definitely a little high. That tree forces you to get low. But like I said, that's that left side risk.
Wow. I don't think he could do it much better than that from where he was.
Just having to take your medicine. This course will do that to you.
Especially these wooded holes. And Joel's
sure.
getting a little frustrated.
Par fives, especially, you can take your medicine on them and you can get your stroke back later on. So, Abe going that left side. It's kind of surprising, but I guess it opens up the forehand.
This is a great looking shot. Wow. He's going to have looked like 150 or maybe even less into the bucket.
He was going full rip here, or pretty strong. He's getting down there.
That's a good shot from Joel. We got Abe going up the left side here. Catches a tree, kind of sits him down in the middle of all the junk.
Yeah, right now Joel's just thinking, do not blow this tournament. Jonathan's been playing good, and Joel has kind of got to stay within these next few holes, not take any big numbers to kind of keep him in it.
Yeah, Scott's kind of right in the middle of the right and left gap, so he doesn't have much chance to get forward progress. He's just pitching out to the right side here. Now he could get up to the basket with a good shot. But gets caught up in that tall branch.
Oh.
Still a little bit short from Abe. Joel. That was an unforced error from Joel. A little bit of an unforced error. He still has a decent chance for a birdie, but Jonathan probably wishes he could have had that upshot back.
Kind of struggling to make something happen here. Be nice to see Caleb make a putt. Yeah.
There we go.
So Caleb's going to give himself minus 13, and Jonathan's going to have to match that here to kind of stay up there with him.
Caleb's on a turkey, so he's had a good start to the back nine. Jonathan, unfortunately, that kind of costly error on his upshot's going to keep him from getting the bird. That was a good a bogey safe putt from Scott. Joel as well taking a bogey.
Joel did a good job not taking any big numbers. Sure, it's easy to do whenever you get in a bad position on a par 5. Try to bite off too much.
We got a double take here from Caleb's putt.
Yeah, there's so much momentum going into that. Getting 3 birdies through the woods and kind of getting a little bit more of a, your name out into the tournament a little, tying the lead there.
Here we go. Our whole sponsor is by Heisernots. Supply your disc golf needs. Reach out to Chris Smitty Smith today if you need some disc golf needs.
Old Smitty's a regular here on Disc and Deals.
Hole 13, par 4, 583 feet. It is the hardest hole on the course, averaging almost an entire stroke over par. It's all about just staying clean and making progress down the fairway. This first shot is such a tight landing zone, and those kind of bigger trees that you saw Caleb hit there, those are the ones you want to beat if you want to land in the birdie zone to have a semi-open approach.
For sure. This tee shot is all about just getting up there, and it's honestly the easier of the 2 shots. What makes this hole the hardest hole on the course is this upshot. It's just such a demanding straight shot, or a if you get far enough down that fairway, a forehand flick.
Yeah, I think Fletcher had a perfect drive. I think he's looking right down the tunnel. Joel's just a little bit wide on his forehand there. If this holds, it's looking...
Yeah, when you go the turnover, it can definitely go straight and give you in bad position.
Interesting shot from Scott, but makes it work. Okay. Caleb, wow. Getting a little sneaky through the trees, but he's going to have himself look to be about a circle 2 putt. Joel not happy with that shot.
Here's Abe's second. Oh, roller. That's a sweet looking roller too. If it doesn't, yeah, that got somewhat down there. He'll have about 100-foot upshot.
Yeah, look at this spot from Jonathan. I don't think you could be looking down the tunnel any clearer. Unfortunately, gets one of the last trees. He's going to have maybe a long jump putt, but I think if you'd say you'd take a par before the hole, you'd just take a par and not even attempt to play the hole.
I don't know. He's looking for revenge after that last putt, so we'll see.
Good shot from Scott.
Spinner.
See if he can capitalize. So that's 2 upshots on back-to-back difficult holes that Fletcher's had that kind of got away from him and took the birdie out of play. Caleb out again after putting right into a tree.
Very fortunate for Caleb that Jonathan just gave himself a putt. He's going to be hoping on his downfall here.
Oh. Ew.
Unfortunately, Jonathan misses that putt. So that's gonna turn Jonathan's beautiful hole into a is it a bogey?
Bogey if he makes this. So yeah, a pretty nice drive, unfortunately ending up in a bogey for Jonathan.
If you guys ever get the chance, come visit Joplin. We have a couple of nice courses. We have Range Line course. It sits on a ball golf course, and Landreth and McClelland. They're all pretty fun courses. Love for you guys to come check them out. Here you got hole 14. This is a par 4, 494 feet. It's the 4th hardest on the course, and I think a lot of that has to do with this initial tee shot. You want to hit a gap and basically get around to where it's just slightly open. It's kind of hard to see down there, but there's a little bit of a landing zone, and that'll leave you a smaller upshot. But you do want to take a big chunk off this drive, and it's a tight little gap. Forehand makes the gap hitting a little bit easier here, but the makes the fairway a little bit tighter down the line. After that guardian tree, you can kind of see after that gap makes the hole tight.
Abe putting one down there, but a little bit off on that left side. He's going to have probably a stretch out forehand. A little bit late release, but Fletcher gets through everything, and he is also going to be just off the fairway. Make a tricky upshot there. Here's a pure shot from Scott. Great spot to be. He's going to have about 275, maybe a little less.
Oh, he's a madman. I freaking love it, Joel.
Joel putting a good forehand roller down to circle 2. Scott from the fairway. Just a little bit wide there.
I feel like forehand roller is one of those shots. If you throw them, you typically throw them quite a bit. Because I feel like a lot of people I see throw them are kind of in love with them.
Caleb, a little bit of an unforced error. Tricky shot, but I think you'd like to have that one back. Great shot from Abe. Getting a nice slide right up to the bullseye.
Definitely hard to try to step or jump a straddle putt.
Yeah. And
Oh my
Caleb.
gosh.
There he is.
I think Caleb has
He's
caught
getting
fire on the
Yeah.
putting green.
put Caleb in great position going into the final stretch. These next 3 holes, next few holes especially, are more easy. So to get some birdies coming into that is a good feeling. You don't have to worry about too much. Some courtesy right there.
Okay, we got a double take here. Caleb catching fire on the putting green. Let's watch his putting stroke here. Gets the nice height on the disc. Lets the disc just kind of naturally fade right into it. And that double take's brought to you by Blue Sage Payments. Hole 15, par 4. This is one of the easier par 4s on the course. You basically just get to let one rip. You have the road on the right, which is out of bounds, but I don't think these players are going to struggle with that too much. And then it's just going to be a stock shot, a little bit uphill into the green.
Believe it or not, this power line does get in a lot of people's way. There's that little support. Is it a support tether? I don't know what that thing's actually called, but that can kind of get in the way. And so you see a lot of these players throw a wide hyzer to just take that out. If you have the power, that's the play. It's actually not too terribly too much of a bomb, but it's really only about, would you say, 400 feet to get out there. Jonathan throwing through it kind of takes all the force out of the throw and just throws something smooth up through it.
Looks like all 5 of these players are in decent spots for their second shot.
I would say these next three holes, this one included, and then the one after this, and then the following, are all kind of gotta get birdies, especially when you're in kind of Caleb's spot, trying to keep a high lead and coming off a birdie streak.
Yeah, your lead card in an A tier, all these straightforward holes you feel like you should be getting.
Yes, sir.
It's another good shot there.
Something I've noticed about Jonathan is he just has this clutch gene on these shots that he has to execute. I think he actually executes them a little bit better than his typical shot. Just something I do not have, and I really see in him that is like, oh, I want that.
Oh. A little bit of a surprising error from Caleb there with how hot he's been on the putting green. There we go. Scott not letting that miss get to him.
When you've been putting hot in woods and you come out into an open field, it can kind of sometimes feel a little bit foreign. And I'm not saying that's what happened there, but it definitely could have had somewhat of an effect on him.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think putting in the woods is simpler for whatever reason, and then coming out to the open, just kind of change your depth perception and
Pace up a little.
yeah.
It's a whole different game playing in the woods and playing in the open. It can change up your style. And
Hole 16, 300 feet, par 3, easiest hole on the course. Unfortunately, this big stump on the right, there was a big guardian tree that has fallen recently, and so now it's essentially just wide open, distance control, take whatever you're most comfortable with, forehand, backhand, straight putter, dealer's choice.
for the most part, I think you're seeing a faster disc thrown on a kind of a flat to hyzer line like you just saw there. I think that's pretty much the most common play. Just let the disc do all the work, put something out smooth, simple, and high, and just let it stall out and fade in. It's going to be quite a putt.
It was a little wide there. Just on bullseye's edge for Joel.
Maybe inside. Not too bad. We're going to have a little bit of a putt off. It's kind of a little bit close right now. So, except for Caleb, he's put himself right there for a birdie.
Fletcher just a little bit high. It's good pace and good commitment. Scott gets the birdie there, along with Big Abe. Caleb as well. And Joel's going to tap in his birdie with a bag on.
Honestly, I'm a little bit surprised that he's doing that distance with the bag on.
Either way, we got 4 birdies, 1 par on hole 16. We got a nice replay of Joel's drive here.
That's the real deal right there. Was Joel even CTP?
I think he was.
Was he?
Yeah.
Well, the lead card did make that hole, look pretty easy with the pars, Jonathan, unfortunately.
Hole sponsor, Discs Unlimited. Check out the website. Been supplying discs for tournaments, clubs, and players since 1987.
This is hole 17. It's a par 3, 343 feet. The drone's going on this left side, which is more of the mid-range line. I think typically the line is more of a hyzer, kind of thrown at it and stalled. Once again, another hole that you're kind of expecting to birdie or give yourself a putt on.
A little bit of an unfortunate roll, and wow. Oh, maybe the car will hit it. Back in bounds. There's a little bit of bad luck there from Abe. He's going to go from most likely a birdie putt, and now he's going to have a long putt to save par.
Abe does a good job with spin putts, so it'll be interesting to see if he can give himself a par save.
Joel coming up a little bit short. He's going to have a tree to contend with on his putt. Scott coming up a little bit shorter than Joel.
There will be a ceiling right there that we might have to see Scott putt against. It's Caleb Bruce, your leader.
Yeah, this looks good. Nice shot from Caleb. And park job from Jonathan.
Nice way to kind of come back after watching the rest of the card. Take a... Oh! That was staying in. Take a birdie on you.
See if Abe can save par after his bad break.
Well, that was close.
Okay. That's a good putt from Joel. Just outside the circle.
And they make these edge of circle putts just look easy.
Good birdie from Caleb. Good birdie from Jonathan. And a bogey for Abe. Hole 18, hole sponsor, Just Send It Disc Dies. Don't miss out on your chance to snag some unique disc dies. Visit the website today. Final hole of the round, hole 18, middle of the pack as far as difficulty goes, 667 foot par 4. You have the tall grass on the left playing as hazard. Is that correct?
Yep, it is playing as hazard.
Playing as hazard this time. I'm going to guess most players are going to throw big pushing hyzers and then forehands into the green. So here's that big pushing hyzer from Joel. He's calling for it to sit down. He's worried about that grass on the left. It'll be questionable.
If you leave it too straight, you can get pinched off on your upshot. So that's where the technicality comes into this hole, is making sure you're not pushing it too straight and too far, and you're fading out early enough to kind of keep yourself in that range of having an upshot and not going into that hazard grass on the left.
Looked like a good shot from Jonathan there.
See, that straight, that could be potentially pinched off, like I was saying.
You're huge, bro.
There, we see one finish. Abrahan right in the middle. He's going to be up first, throwing a forehand. Maybe a little higher than he meant to throw it.
That does look like it got in the green, though. Adams could be short there. That left side, it looks like it hyzered out a little bit early.
It's going to need a little skip. Doesn't get it. Joel was safe. This is a shot I would expect him to execute.
He throws it high. Hopes the trees will crash him down to the green.
A little low here. Caleb gets the skip, though. There it is. We're going to have 5 putts, all putting for birdie here. A little bit off on Fletcher there. He's going to have a comebacker to save a par. That's a great way to finish a round.
Said, see you on lead card tomorrow.
He must have been keeping up with scores.
Well, that's a hard putt to make whenever you're kind of keeping up with scores and all worried about that. Kind of puts some extra pressure on you sometimes when you don't need it.
Joel just off the top. Caleb barely missing. Wow. Did not expect the 3-putt on the final hole. But Fletcher's going to end with a bogey, 14 under. You got Caleb, who's going to take 2-stroke lead on the card at 16 under, going into tomorrow's final round. Let's check out the leaderboard here. First, though, okay, we got a double take here. Side by side, got Abrahan spinning it in on the left, and Scott closing out his round with a great birdie. Brought to you by Blue Sage Payments. Let's check out that leaderboard here. We got Caleb Bruce shooting a fire 10 under par, taking a 2-stroke lead into the final Sunday. We got Fletcher, 2 behind Caleb, Joel Freeman, and it's going to be a tight battle. Tomorrow, we're back at the Eagles course, probably the harder of the 2 layouts, but make sure you tune in for the final round of the 4 States Open.